Road Traders Association, John Carron. John's going to give us 5 minutes about what the Tour Down Under has meant to King William Road and the traders over there, and what you might expect as a group of traders for Prospect Road. John, welcome.
Thank you, Marcus. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for inviting me, Lisa and so on. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you for getting the opportunity to have the Tour Down Under leaving from Prospect Road. Got the right one, and having the street party the night before. As far as a trader is concerned in the street party, there's lots of ways of looking at it. In our street, we've got many people that get a great advantage out of the Tour Down Under, and I'd probably come along to try and tell you how exciting it can be as a trader on the street. In my case, I've got a jewellery shop. I've got the best little jewellery shop in Adelaide, so anyone needing any jewellery, come down to King William Road. But a jewellery shop, you know, when you've got 20 or 30,000 people walking up and down the street outside your shop, you know, we've got issues with security, etc. But the way that we see it is it's not very often do you get that many people in your street in party mode and looking around while they're there. So we have our doors wide open. I always get an extra liquor licence so that we can drink alcohol in the shop. I invite my VIP customers into the shop to come and have the party, and we'll actually bring the party into the shop. And what it does is it brings not only my own clients into the shop and we have a good time together, but it also has the opportunity to bring people as they're walking past inside your shop. They may not buy anything on that night. In fact, it's very unusual if they would. They've come for a party. But once they've been inside that shop once, they reckon it's 80% harder to get them in the shop the first time than any other time to come in. So they'll have a look at your shop. They might say, "Oh, gee, I saw that hairstyle in that hairdresser shop, and I wonder I'll go back there and the next time I'll get him hair done and talk to them about it," or something like that. That's the opportunity you've got. You've got the opportunity to get people in your shop, wandering around, seeing the atmosphere. Have a party with them, treat them, you know, really good, so that they feel comfortable about coming back next time. And the amount of effort that the council have gone to, particularly in our situation, to give us that opportunity has been enormous. So I've just come to congratulate you and tell you that there's many opportunities as a trader to make it a big advantage for you.
Thanks very much, John. I wonder if I might throw it open to the group, if anyone's got any questions of John about his experience with the Tour Down Under on King William Road.
Yeah, John, I've got a question for you. In the morning of the tour, when you go to work, how hard is it to get a park? I'm probably just have to go to town and catch the bus back or something.
Well, yeah, car parking is probably as big an issue in King William Road as it is in Prospect Road. Unfortunately, when the roads were set up as the strips that they are now, you know, car parking wasn't an issue in those days. We have a lot of people come to see the race off in the morning, and quite remarkably so. And you stand there and the race virtually disappears in front of your eyes, and quite a big group get up and they go to the next vantage point and they watch the race go past and so on. So it's a little bit different in the morning than we first expected. We first expected people to come to the street and sort of stay in the street. There is certainly a percentage that do that. As far as your car parking is concerned, if any of the shop owners and so on have got their cars to stop a client from coming and getting on the car park, you know, that would be a big issue for me. Try and get as many other people in the street as you can and make it as comfortable for them to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
But then leading to that, what is our council going to do or address or present or tell us about parking on that morning for the shopkeepers? It's all right to discuss what happened out at Hyde Park, but it's a different council out at Hyde Park. On that morning, are we going to be able to park anywhere near our office? Do we have to walk 4 blocks, 5 blocks, get anywhere near our office?
I assume, sir, embedded in that question is the notion that you don't have on-site parking at the moment, that you're otherwise parking the street, or that the street will be blocked off so you won't be able to get to your...
There hasn't been enough explanation, and maybe it'll come up later to do with the race, about on that race day, from what I understand, so many streets will be blocked, it'll be hard to get from here to there and back again. How do we get to the parking areas that we currently do park?
It's a very good question. I know as a business owner, my office used to be located on the parade at Norwood, and we're upstairs. And the parade, of course, has had a couple of stages of the Tour Down Under start on it. I must say I found the parking to be not too bad in the side streets. I didn't have to get to on-site parking, I might add, that day. But I must say, as a former Sydney resident, I've got a slightly different spin on car parking and inconvenience. And I do know when I bought my first car at 25, I couldn't park in my suburb. I had to park it in another suburb, catch a bus home as a resident, because I lived in the inner city and I valued the vibrancy and the inconvenience of that. I do know, doing some consultancy work for Broken Hill Council, I was up there last week, if you can't park in one block on the main street of Broken Hill, people go home. So they're at the other end of the spectrum, you know, it's not acceptable to park in the next block, which has 70% of car parking available. So it's always a bit of a relative thing. Certainly my observation in Adelaide is people have this part of this sort of perception of Adelaide as a big country town, that they can park very close to where they want to go, if not out the front. I would say when you've got an international event like the Tour Down Under, there will be parking inconvenience, and they close the road. The mechanics of that, I would anticipate it may be if you get there very early, you might be able to get in before they close the road. I do know from my experience on the parade that the length of time the road was closed was actually seen to me to be very short. I would contrast that with the Food and Wine Festival they have there every year, where it was quite a long period of time that the road was closed. But for the Tour Down Under, it seemed to go in the blink of an eye. And I would suggest, depending on the time of day the start is here, that it wouldn't be as inconvenient as you first might think, but I think it's a very good question and one that perhaps Council can clarify.
Could you want Carolyn Ramsey to provide a synopsis at this juncture?
Look, that might be a good throw to. In fact, Carolyn Ramsey from Council is here and our next speaker tonight. Carolyn's going to give you an introduction to the Terrific Prospect Traders Guide, which Council's currently preparing. Thank you very much.
Hi.
Carolyn.
Hi, thank you everyone for coming. Hope you can hear me. I'm just sort of getting over, whatever that is that's going around, so if I have a coughing fit, I apologise. Yes, Terrific Prospect is the name of our major community event that is our opportunity within the Santos Tour Down Under. Our event will be the Monday evening prior to the major Tour Down Under event on the Tuesday morning. And we have developed the Traders Guide, which has all of the information in it about the impacts of the event on you as traders for both the Monday and the Tuesday morning event. And within it is information about our traffic management plans, and certainly local traffic and local traders will have permits that will allow them access to their premises outside of the demands and the obligations we have with regard to the stage one start of the Tour Down Under. So that we also have plans within our marketing communication strategy to make sure that all of the road closures, all of the restrictions, all of the traffic management, you have that information well in advance so that you can not only let your customers know, but you can do some planning to come along and come on board with us. But local permits for local traders will be available for local businesses so that you are as inconvenienced as least as possible with regard to accessing your businesses on the day. So Terrific Prospect is the name of our event, and what has happened and Council approved last week is what you would know as the annual Fashion, Food and Wine Affair has actually become the City of Prospect's major community event to support and take on the opportunity provided by the Tour Down Under. So the budget, the infrastructure, the plans and the general model that the Fashion, Food and Wine Affair will be taken from November and put on to Monday evening, the 16th of January. We I was, and you would see and you came in, I was hoping to have a final draft, a final of this for you tonight, and I sincerely apologise that it is not quite ready. It is still in a final draft stage, but every single person that has registered here tonight, we will come and you will be not only given one of these personally, but we will speak to you personally about the event so that we can immediately answer some of your questions, and then we're available to respond to other questions that may come to you out of the Trader's Guide. The Trader's Guide is very much based on the Trader's Guide that is developed for the Fashion, Food and Wine Affair. So you'll see a lot of things that are similar in there. There are your forms, your permits, your registrations, your applications are all in that guide. They are separate. You can rip them off and fax them into us, and you can register through the guide, as well as all of the information and the contact people that you need to speak to with your different areas of concern or questions. It's gone. Sorry, it'll come back. This includes, as I said, it includes a draft program. It also includes some handy hints and opportunities, a little bit like what John spoke about the opportunities you as traders can take up when you consider that with the Fashion, Food and Wine Affair we had 5,000 people, you can expect 20,000 people coming over the weeknights of Monday and Tuesday morning. You may like to open your cafes and stores and your businesses early on Tuesday morning to take advantage of all of the people that come and hang around waiting for that stage 1 race. You may like to open late or have parties of your own the evening before and getting into the swing of the mood of the cycling event, the Festival of Lycra, or whatever you want to call it, on the Monday evening. So consider that there is 4 or 5 times as many people as you ever experienced with the Fashion, Food and Wine Affair, and it's estimated from Santos TDU Down Under, they all spend about $25 locally. So there's money, $750,000 to be had there over those 2 days. And I think that is up to you to work out what would they like to buy, how would they like to engage with you, how can you make their experience the best opportunity for your business, either direct sales or in promotion. As John said, they may not buy that night, but if they're coming back and it's a nice environment, they've had a good experience, they go away with a good memory, they come back and they look for that again. So as I said, the traders' permits, the road closures, traffic management, fees and charges are in here. Our waste management requirements and commitment, power use, power opportunities, internal, external trading opportunities as well, and all your insurances. Now what we're also looking is that you get your registrations into us by the 30th of September. That's why it's important for us to get to you as soon as we possibly can so that you understand what this opportunity is and that we give you all the information you need to get your application and your registration in. That's pretty much it from me. You certainly will get these in the next few days. That will also be available online, and if you don't get one, then you can just call Carolyn at Council and then I can make sure it comes out. But as long as you've registered here who you are, then we will come and make sure we come and see you. So if you Best Dressed Town, that's our other opportunity within Santos TDU Down Under. They award a Best Dressed Town recognition, and we've got a number of ideas that we're...
Don't even try for that, we've got that.
A north-south rivalry. And we're working, you may or may not know, there's a gallery advisory group. We have a very vibrant and active community arts sector in Prospect, which is unique and incredibly passionate. We're working with them around a number of ideas that we can talk to you about to perhaps bring artists into the street, into your businesses, into your shop windows, out the front of your businesses so that we can get the Best Dressed Town. And there'll be a number of other opportunities which we will communicate with you in a range of ways. Newsletters, online, emails, advertising, Prospect magazine, flyers, posters, decals. There's a whole range of ways that we want to talk to you, and we want you talking to us about how we can help you make the most of that opportunity that we've won. It's our first year. We've got a number of years that we want to do it, and we'll start where we can achieve what we want to, and we'll build from there. So any questions I'm happy to take. Yeah.
I'm just wondering, this is also directed at John, when you're talking about best dressed town and also about the facades, one thing I really love about King William Road is when you drive down at night, most of the shop fronts have little tiny coloured lights all along, and it's really magical at night. It's really beautiful, and that's something I think that could make our road look really beautiful and give it that sort of plaza feel.
Yep.
And also would be really, really lovely to have for Christmas leading into Tour Down Under. I just wondered if that's been considered by anyone.
Lighting is, like you're saying, it's a big impact for probably quite low-tech technology in many ways, that bud lighting, etc. We've been speaking to an artist about how we can best dress our street, and lighting is certainly something that takes us through our evening, through dusk, and into when we close, and it really does help focus and bring an atmosphere to us, to an area that is quite different from your daytime experience. So lighting's important.
It also, I found it was consistently beautiful all the way along. As you'd know, John, those lights are all the same colours, of little blue and white ones or something they seem to be.
I'm actually quite pleased you brought that topic up, because it's, as our Street Traders Association, we've done that as traders and kept it uniform all along. So that's been a major project for us for the last 2 or 3 years.
I think it's just beautiful.
Thank you.
But the thing it does is it emphasises each business. When you drive along, you do notice each business, which you might not at night normally. And I think that's something we all need, we'd all benefit from.
Thank you.
Good question, good comment.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Any other questions?
I'd have to agree, the lighting, you're talking about a hub or prospect, but there's no definition of where it begins and where it ends. It's just a mishmash of everything, really. It's old, quirky, but we need to, I suppose, bring that out. I mean, I don't really see any trees. I guess for me, greenery would be nice, and of course I suppose what can I call out lighting is just even to add simple lights to the trees like they did on King Street in the city for a while there. They had
Just mention that part of the upgrade does include street trees and uplighting, LED uplighting, and so there will be, as you come into the village heart, at the medians north of Olive and south of Rose, those medians will have uplights. There will be uplights along the village heart strip wherever there's street trees, onto a number of the buildings, and there's also the Pulse artwork, which has got the light feature, and those who heard about it know that essentially there's an inbuilt thermostat, so that the colour of the lights change in the course of the night. So there will be certainly extra light elements on the road as part of the upgrade.
So take that, King William Road. Sir, you've got a question, and then over here, I think you had one too.
Yeah, this is happening on the evening. Terrific. It's happening on the 16th of January. There's a daylight till nearly 9:30 at night. What time is this supposed to go to?
It's about 10.
Till 10.
Yeah.
So we're talking about lighting for about half an hour. And obviously the race starts in the daytime, so the lighting's not going to be huge. There is street lighting.
We have opportunity in the lead up to draw attention to our village heart, so it may not just be that night, but we may have some time before that. And in fact, we could potentially look at lighting when we speak about how we're going to celebrate the completion of the upgrade there of the village heart.
Is anything being done about public conveniences? Because that's one thing the project does really lack is...
For our event?
Yes.
In my experience with events, it's always about toilets. They're number one. You can, great event will succeed or fail on the toilets that you have.
But in general, is there any, sorry?
No, flowing on from that, and then we'll come to the question. you had a question about conveniences, or?
In general, yeah. Well, is there any plan for extra toilets on the street anywhere? I mean, once the road's all done up and theoretically people come to the street, public toilets for people on the street, there doesn't really seem to be a lot, and the closest to where I am is over in the food land. And a lot of people don't like going there.
So this is beyond the Tour Down Under and special event?
Yeah, well, I mean, if something's going to be brought in temporarily, is there a vision to be there all the time?
I might get Justin to answer that question.
Short answer at this point in time, no. The council hasn't planned to put any additional public toilets in at this point in time.
I might get you to hold that idea for the second half of the meeting, and we'll explore that further. So you've been patient. You're right. Another question up here.
I was just going to ask, is there any support for businesses that are looking dilapidated for the property owner to actually bring their businesses up to a reasonable standard in this period of time? What have we got, 6 months approximately? Is there any support from the council to motivate the landlords to upgrade their shops, or do some facelifts or something of that nature? Prospect Plaza certainly could do with something of that nature. I've just spent some money doing my shop up personally, so if you're in the area, come check it out. MV Cafe in Prospect Plaza, but it needs to spill over into the arcade area. And if you know the area, you know what I'm talking about. Could do with a bit of a facelift.
There's sometimes a chicken and egg question or chicken and egg issue embedded in what you say too. Do you let the buildings, or do you wait until the buildings are upgraded first before you do the streetscape upgrade, or do you do that first in the hope that there will be flow-on effects and businesses will want to upgrade their facades? The time frame, Justin, for the streetscape upgrade completion, I think we're talking about November as the date for the event, the celebration.
I'll provide more detail later tonight with the briefing, but 14th of October is when it will all be done.
So that's when the streetscape upgrades complete. Then you're talking about the Tour Down Under in January. I would hope that you're going to start to see some flow-on effects pretty promptly. I'm not sure if anyone else from council can talk about other triggers in terms of bringing some of the less attractive buildings or improving the facades of less attractive buildings in the street. Any other comments about that? It is an issue for facing a number of councils. I know I've been doing a lot of work in the West End in Hindley Street, for example. I know they've got some real challenges there. So an issue that needs to be explored further, I would suggest. Any other questions of Carolyn? And certainly she's here tonight, and you can ask more questions of her.
Whereabouts does the race actually start from?
The start line, which is defined by an inflatable Tour Down Under start, is pretty much straight out the front of the Civic Centre's main entrance across that area there. And then the cars, the team cars stream back, they're heading south from here.
It's always a curious thing, the start. They sort of roll along, you know. You think they'd go bang. It's a race, isn't it? It kind of shunts out of town slowly, but it seems to generate a lot of activity.
Just going from what Tim said, what is the precinct they're going to have for this opening? If you work out like a defined area, where the road closure is going to be?
For the Tour Down Under, it's a terrific prospect, yes. There is a road closure map, and we are essentially going to be closed from Olive Street down to Gloucester. So there's two parts to it. There's from Olive Street down to, which is Rose. To Rose is the Tour Down Under event site. And then from Rose down to Gloucester, there is talks about having some cycling events, community events and that sort of thing, but the main event will be Rose to Olive. Similar area and similar setup to the Fashion, Food and Wine Affair.
So we've talked about mid-October for completion of the... well, thank you very much, Carol. We might leave that there for the Tour Down Under, but again, Carol...